Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you a question. Have you ever felt like something was lurking just beyond your sight? You turn your head, but there's nothing there. You step forward, but something feels like it's holding you back. You try to move, but the weight of something unseen presses down on you. I'm talking about shadow people. No, not ghosts, not ghouls. I'm talking about those forces in your life that operate in the dark. The ones that whisper doubt when you're about to step into your destiny. The ones that show up in the form of fear, insecurity, regret. Oh, you know what I'm talking about. Shadows are not just figures lurking in the corners of our vision. They are manifestations of the things that haunt us internally: fear, doubt, insecurity, and hesitation. They are the voices in our minds that tell us we are not good enough, the weight on our shoulders that makes us second guess our abilities, the invisible barriers that keep us from stepping fully into our purpose. These shadow people are not seen in the physical sense, but their presence is deeply felt. They whisper when we are about to make a bold move, filling our hearts with uncertainty. They creep in when we are tired, making us feel like giving up is the only option. How many times have you felt on the verge of something great only to be held back by fear? How many moments of opportunity have slipped away because you doubted yourself? How often have you allowed the voices of the past to dictate the steps of your future? That is the power of the shadows. They don't need to physically exist because they take root in your thoughts. They thrive in your hesitation. They grow in your uncertainty. They wrap themselves around your dreams and whisper, "You are not enough. You will fail. You don't deserve this." And the more you listen, the stronger they become. But here's the truth. Shadows are powerless unless you give them power. They cannot physically stop you, they cannot lay a hand on you, and they cannot change your destiny. Their only weapon is deception, the ability to make you believe they have control. But belief is a powerful thing. If you believe you are trapped, you will never try to break free. If you believe you are unworthy, you will never reach for greater things. The only way shadows can hold you back is if you choose to stay still. You must understand that fear is only as strong as the attention you give it. The moment you decide to move forward, despite the whispers, despite the doubt, despite the hesitation, the shadows lose their grip. They don't disappear, but they can no longer dictate your life. You may feel them lingering behind you, but they will no longer stand in front of you. You were created for something greater than a life spent running from fear. You were designed to rise above doubt, to break free from insecurity, and to step boldly into the light of your purpose. The shadows may follow, but they will never define you. If there are shadows in your life, it means there is light shining somewhere nearby. Shadows cannot exist without light. They are simply the result of something standing in the way of illumination. This means that every fear, every doubt, every hesitation that tries to hold you back is only proof that something powerful is shining in your life. But here's where many people get it wrong. They focus on the shadow instead of the light. They become so consumed with what's following them, what's trying to stop them, that they forget to turn toward the very thing that proves their purpose exists. Too often people allow the shadows to dictate their movements. They let fear tell them when to stop. They let past failures convince them that they should never try again. They let insecurities whisper that they are not enough. And all the while, the light is still shining, waiting for them to acknowledge it. But the truth is, the presence of a shadow does not mean you are lost. It means you are positioned between the past and the future, between the fear that wants to hold you back and the light that is calling you forward. The question is, which one will you move toward? It's easy to dwell on darkness. It's easy to focus on everything that's wrong, everything that's broken, everything that has not gone the way you expected. But darkness is not meant to be your home. Fear is not meant to be your foundation. The presence of a shadow is simply an invitation to seek the light. It is a reminder that there is something greater ahead of you than what is behind. Shadows do not appear in the absence of purpose. They appear when purpose is near. They form when you are on the verge of stepping into something bigger, something bolder, something destined for you. But shadows only have power if you refuse to acknowledge where the light is. You have to make a decision. Will you let the shadow dictate your movement, or will you turn toward the light? The light represents everything you were meant to become, everything you have the potential to achieve, everything that was placed inside of you from the beginning. You may not see it clearly yet, but it is there. And the only way to truly silence the shadows is to move toward what is illuminating your path. Because when you step into the light, the shadows must fall behind. Shadows thrive in darkness. They are most powerful when you hesitate, when you shrink back, when you allow fear to dictate your choices. The moment you start second-guessing yourself, the shadows creep in. The moment you start thinking about all the ways things could go wrong, they grow stronger. They feed off your uncertainty, off your indecision, off your unwillingness to move forward. That's how they survive, by keeping you stuck in a place where you are afraid to step into your purpose. They don't need to do anything but wait, because the longer you stay in hesitation, the more control they gain. How many times have you delayed something you knew you were meant to do? How many opportunities have passed you by because you let fear talk you out of them? That's the nature of the shadows. They don't push you down, they don't physically restrain you, but they whisper just loud enough to make you believe that you're not ready, that you're not capable, that it's safer to stay where you are. And before you know it, days turn into weeks, weeks into months, and months into years. You find yourself looking back, wondering why you never took that step, why you never chased that dream, why you allowed hesitation to become a lifestyle instead of a moment. Shadows don't need you to fail, they just need you to stop trying. They don't need to knock you down, they just need you to stand still, because the moment you stop moving forward, they win. The moment you surrender to fear, they take over. But here's what you must understand. Shadows cannot exist without something blocking the light. And more often than not, the thing blocking the light is your own fear, your own doubt, your own unwillingness to believe that what's ahead of you is greater than what's behind you. You have to stop giving the shadows a place to grow. You have to stop feeding them with hesitation, with excuses, with procrastination. Because the longer you wait, the more comfortable the darkness becomes. And the more comfortable the darkness becomes, the harder it is to break free. But the moment you decide that you will no longer live in hesitation, the moment you decide that fear will not be the author of your story, the shadows begin to lose their hold. They begin to weaken. They begin to shrink. Because when you move with purpose, when you refuse to be paralyzed by doubt, the darkness has no choice but to fade away. You have power over the shadows. They may follow you, they may linger in the background, they may whisper doubts into your mind, but they do not control you. They only have as much power as you allow them to have. Fear, insecurity, and regret are like chains, but they are chains that can only hold you if you refuse to break them. Too many people live as if they are prisoners to their past, to their mistakes, to the negative voices that have spoken over their lives. They accept the presence of shadows as something they cannot escape, something they must live with forever. But the truth is, the only reason shadows feel so overwhelming is that you have stopped moving forward. Think about it. Shadows grow when you stand still. The longer you stay in one place, the more they surround you. But when you take a step, when you move toward your purpose, they shift. They cannot keep up with the power of motion. That is why hesitation is the enemy of progress. The moment you stop believing in your potential, the moment you stop fighting for your dreams, the shadows tighten their grip. They convince you that stepping forward is too risky, that failure is inevitable, that you are not worthy of success. But let me tell you something. You are stronger than the shadows that chase you. You were created to walk in the light, to stand in the fullness of your potential, to rise above the lies that try to hold you back. The key to overcoming the shadows is to realize that they cannot actually harm you. They are not real in the sense that they can physically stop you. They are illusions, tricks of the mind, meant to keep you from realizing just how powerful you are. The moment you refuse to listen to the whispers of fear, the moment you step forward despite the doubt, you weaken the shadows' hold over your life. They may still be there, they may still follow, but they will no longer dictate your choices. You will no longer live under their influence. There is no magic formula to break free, only a decision. A decision to stop letting fear control your actions. A decision to stop allowing insecurity to shape your future. A decision to move forward even when doubt tells you to stay where you are. And when you make that decision, when you take that step, you will realize that the shadows were never as powerful as they seemed. They only had strength because you believed in them more than you believed in yourself. You must step into your purpose boldly. The shadows will always be there, lurking, waiting for you to hesitate, waiting for you to second guess yourself. But you were never meant to live a life of fear. You were never meant to be trapped by doubt. You were created with a purpose, and that purpose is bigger than any shadow that tries to hold you back. The problem is that too many people are waiting for the perfect moment to step forward. They are waiting for fear to disappear, for every doubt to vanish, for a time when they feel completely ready, but that moment never comes. Fear doesn't leave on its own. Doubt doesn't fade until you move despite it. Confidence isn't something that just appears, it's something that is built through action. Every time you take a step forward, you weaken the grip of hesitation. Every time you refuse to listen to the whispers of insecurity, you remind yourself that you are stronger than the things trying to stop you. But this only happens when you decide to move, when you decide that your purpose is more important than your fear. The world is full of people who had dreams but never pursued them because they let the shadows talk them out of it. They let fear convince them that they weren't good enough. They let doubt tell them that success was meant for someone else. They let the past dictate their future, and as a result, they never stepped into what they were meant to do. That cannot be your story. You cannot afford to let the shadows win. You cannot afford to let hesitation steal your potential. You have to decide that you will move forward, even when fear is present, even when doubt is loud, even when everything inside you is telling you to wait. Because when you step boldly into your purpose, something powerful happens. The shadows lose their control. They may follow, but they no longer dictate your action. They may whisper, but they no longer hold you back. And with every step you take, you become stronger, more confident, more sure of who you are meant to be. Purpose is not found in comfort. It is not found in waiting for fear to pass. It is found in action, in pushing forward despite the doubt, in refusing to let the shadows have the final say. The moment you step into your purpose boldly is the moment you take back control of your life. The moment you stop letting hesitation hold you prisoner is the moment you start walking in the fullness of who you were meant to be. Stop running from the shadows. Stop letting them dictate your steps, control your thoughts, and steal your confidence. Too many people spend their lives running not towards something, but away from something. They run from their past mistakes, from their failures, from the voices that once told them they weren't good enough. They run from fear, from rejection, from the possibility of not measuring up. But here's the truth. Running doesn't make the shadows disappear. It only makes you more tired. It drains you, weakens you, and keeps you in a cycle of fear and avoidance. No matter how fast you run, the shadows will follow. They are always there, lingering in the background, reminding you of every doubt, every insecurity, every moment you hesitated. But you were not designed to run from fear. You were not created to live in avoidance. You were meant to confront, to overcome, to stand firm in the face of everything that tries to hold you back. Running only prolongs the battle. It keeps you from reaching your full potential. It keeps you from stepping into the purpose that was meant for you. And if you keep running, if you keep allowing the shadows to control your movements, you will never know what you are truly capable of. It is time to turn around. It is time to stop running and face whatever has been chasing you. The shadows have no real power, only the power you give them. The moment you stand your ground, the moment you decide that fear will no longer rule your life, the shadows begin to shrink. They can't withstand the force of someone who has decided to move forward no matter what. They can't control someone who has chosen to no longer be afraid. They thrive in hesitation, in retreat, in avoidance, but the moment you refuse to run, they lose their grip. There is strength in standing still, not in fear, but in resolve. There is power in deciding that you will no longer let the past control your future. The moment you face the shadows, you take back your power. The moment you refuse to let fear be the driver of your decisions, you begin to walk in the fullness of your purpose. The shadows may still exist, but they will no longer dictate your life. And when you finally stop running, you will realize that what you were running from was never as strong as the power within you.